to roll him over.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are jumping into the game. Let's introduce our players in the northeast position. As the red Zerg needs this win to advance on in Group A with Parting. Give it up for Acer Scarlet.
Up in the top left-hand corner, he got second place at last year's Battlegrounds. He just got third, fourth at the World Championship. He's looking for a first place. Can he do it? From Team StarTale, it is Bomber! Marcus, this crowd is kick-ass.
They are.
You guys rule.
Love you guys.
You got signs and flags and people standing up. People worried about the fact that I maybe didn't pay my rent, but I totally did this month. I'm really excited about that. We even got some folks up on the higher balconies. What's going on, top balcony?
All right.
Yeah, all right.
That looks fun up there.
It's actually kind of hard because there's like a light shining in our eyes, but I saw movement.
There was
a lot of movement, man.
Some signs up there as well. Now, we have something. And here is what you thought maybe we would have in the first game, but we now definitely have in the third game. Yeah.
Oh my God, Scarlet is going gas.
Oh God.
He's gone gas pool, and it's a double proxy. Bomber is walking into the worst possible situation. He's going to be up against one base Speedling. Scarlet is scouting around. This is so common on maps like this to do something a little bit unexpected. Here comes Scarlet. Scarlet checks the ramp, and Scarlet says, where is the supply depot? Why is there no depot at the ramp? Scarlet is immediately going to suspect something may not even move out to take an expansion.
Well, when you're in this position and you've already taken the expansion, you've got to do something to react. But in this particular situation, she sort of expected something bad could happen. I might as well be ready for it.
Oh, and there it is. Look, Scarlet going Lings, Speed, and Queen before the hatch. This is a devastating loss for Bomber. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Did Scarlet really metagame Bomber that well on this map?
Well, it's not over yet. It's definitely, it's starting to look that way, Sean. We just have the one, now two drones on the gas. First Lings are out. I feel like you still have to kind of like bait the SCV, right? To know.
There's the Zerglings taking it out, and what is Bomber going to do? Bomber is stuck between a rock and a hard place. We're seeing the Zerglings go straight over to the main base, and Scarlet is now beginning to mine gas again. Scarlet is now retreating the Overlords to make sure that they don't accidentally die to something like Marines moving in anyways, and it looks like it's going to be a Ling-Baneling bus choice for Scarlet. Scarlet's still continuing to head in, and Bomber has to rally from these barracks, and now Bomber's lifting the barracks. This is a devastating position for the Korean Terran.
I mean, the Lings being in a position now where they can actually cut off these units as well. There's nothing that could be done to put down the front door, and Speed is still a bit off, but there's only 3 Marines here. The SCVs are definitely going to have to come in to this battle. I still think that Scarlet needs to be careful here, but, well, there we see CC at the top, so it's going to be a long time before those racks get over. One Marine goes down. There's only 3 Marines left on the map.
Scarlet almost has Zergling speed, and there it is.
Oh, no.
Darting forward. Will she get the Marines? No. Bomber's control is too good. And Scarlet has also canceled the Baneling nest, so there's going to be no all-in. That would have guaranteed a win, but Scarlet's going to try to go toe-to-toe with Bomber on the macro front.
Now those 2 racks are about ready to make their way back to the main base. We're going to see the CC finishing up, almost able to get that SCV. And these 3 Marines are absolutely hero Marines for being able to defend this off.
Undoubtedly, yeah.
I still think maybe those initial Lings that went in, maybe tried to dance them, hide them a little bit better. But, you know, hindsight is 20/20, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's so easy to want to go for the win there, but you need to get the edge.
Yeah. So now that we see the sort of the Scarlet being reserved, like you know, the Baneling all-in might be the way to go, but now being a bit more reserved, you still feel like there's a substantial advantage here, or do you think that it's more evened out?
It's very unclear because this is such an odd situation with the gold third. What Scarlet's likely going to be doing is rushing to Mutalisks as fast as she can because Bomber has a very clear play. 3 command center. I mean, if he didn't have geysers for a long time, and he's building up minerals because he's got floating barracks, so the only reasonable choice for Bomber there is to spend that accumulated minerals on more bases. But Scarlet's going to be getting the Spire up very, very fast. Scarlet's going to be able to apply pressure long before there's any sort of stim done. There's the Spire going up, and now this is when Scarlet decides to take a third.
Yeah, I mean, that second, the natural went up almost immediately once the lair finished. We've got the Spire, and these Lings still sort of denying this natural. And we'll probably continue to do so a little bit longer. There's not actually that many more units out for Bomber than there was at the very beginning, but I think both players, in respect out of one another, just kind of went back and said, I'm going to do what I need to do to get back in this game and make sure that you don't just get an easy win off me. And I think that Scarlet wants to find the safety win if there is such a thing. So
Bomber is playing this so cautiously. Just constantly being very careful. These Hellions are one of the more defensive plays that Bomber could pull off right now. Bomber is hoping to get some intel because he's playing so far in the dark. Look at Bomber's vision. He hasn't even scouted any creep at this point. The Mutalisks are almost out at this point in time, so Scarlet's going to begin slowly chipping away at Bomber. And look at the exposed tech lab, Marcus. That is the real danger for Bomber right now.
Oh, you're absolutely right. The Mutas can just kind of float over the side of that, just in the southeast of the Terran base. And these Hellions aren't going to do that much. We're going to have six. We'll have 6 Mutas on the way from the initial gas that Scarlet had, and I feel like that is just the largest target that one could possibly put there. But the Mutas, with their fly time, it's going to be really close to call.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a good 50 seconds before that stim's done, and it's going to be all eyes on the Mutalisks now. Where will they go? How is Bomber going to try to recoup after that extremely tense opening?
Well, Mutas are meeting up at a meeting here. Going to talk about how this is going to go down. Definitely take out SCV. There's another SCV.
Guaranteed damage is the choice for Scarlet, picking off SCVs as much as she can.
And then sees it. Here is going to be that moment of truth, whether or not it is seen actually goes into the natural.
Wow, Scarlet's just doing a great job picking off units. Anything she can. Hardly loses a single Muta. Stim will barely complete in time. And ooh, picking up a medevac would be a very nice gain, but Scarlet's just continuing to chip away.
1-2 of Marines coming out, but there we have the Lings coming into the natural at the exact same time. The Mutas still have to be careful, and they have to get out of there. They'll come back in when they can, but the damage is being done here. We've got combat shields now on that tech lab, and those Mutas trying to give it up. But a few Mutas were lost there. 3 more on the way with the +1 air weapons on the way, and that gold is up.
Well, if you look, it's 11 Marines versus, or 14 Marines versus 7 Mutalisks. It's almost to the point where Scarlet can begin just engaging them directly. And of course, with the Ling threat always possible at the front, this is actually a weird situation because Scarlet must deal damage with this. This is not bonus damage that Scarlet's dealing. She's behind on her third. She actually, if she picks off this tech lab, that would be a big gain.
Not quite yet, but I still feel with all these minerals and what I'm assuming is a ton of larvae still means that we could have a potential Ling counterattack happen at the same time.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if there's any additional defense for Bomber here at the front, but you see those 2 Widow Mines right there where the Mutas have been trying to do their little dance. And there are no Widow Mines up there at the front, but and half a wall.
Yeah, I mean, this is looking increasingly excellent for Bomber right now. He's gotten his 1-1 upgrades done, far ahead of Scarlet. No 2-2 yet, but it's about to get underway. Scarlet's got to begin burning that mineral set. It looks like, is there a macro hatch in the main? You betcha. Right now there are the 3 regular hatches, the lair. Bomber's beginning to move out. Baneling speed, long way off.
Ooh, and you know, the creep spread is there, but there's drop potential here at this gold base. And there we see 1 medevac loaded up. Got a Hellion and 7 Marines inside, and he can also reinforce using those Marines from below. Great positioning by Bomber.
Bomber knows exactly what he's doing in this spot. He's slowly getting the supply lead. He just needs to drop a few at a time. The Mutalisk count is not high enough, and Bomber is managing to keep the medevacs alive too, and is just rallying forward at this point.
Yeah, those medevacs are deathly low. If Baneling speed is done right now, I feel like he could make a swing outside of his base and actually just try to sandwich this for the attack. But this is that low ground, high ground play from the Terran that we were talking about early on. And here's going to go in for it again. Will Bounce get those medevacs? No,
looks like
where's
one goes down. Baneling speed not quite done. 1-1 just finishing up now. Skarlet's going for the big surround. And Bomber's forced to pull back. This medevac not on cooldown.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Skarlet would have had a huge pickup there. Skarlet now beginning to flood drones, a very dangerous move. This is an extremely tense game. Bomber's hardly even established a third.
Yeah, it's down. It's sort of there. It exists. But here we go. Skarlet moving forward. There are no mines also to help out.
None at all.
These Banelings become far more effective. The splitting looks immaculate, but still damage is done. We do see quite a few of the Marines thinned out. However, it's enough that Bomber's staying alive, and that means more reinforcements are going to be needed. More Banelings are going to be required, which means less mutas overall. And some idle SCVs there finally. The mules are like, guys, we're working hard here. Come on, can you contribute a little bit?
Skarlet's also got to get her 2-2 upgrades. She wants to be able to go toe-to-toe with Bomber here. Bomber going to be pulling the same tactical exploit again and again and again. And what an exploit it is. The only thing that Bomber really has to be worried about is that he's cramming too many units up on that top side, and this exact attack might shut him down. And Bomber splitting himself up improperly. Where does Skarlet go? Does she defend her gold? Does she chase after? Defense is on the mind for Skarlet, who's taking a 5th base.
I think defense was absolutely the right call there. As much as it seems so nice to say get a few of those medevacs if possible, keeping that gold base up and also eliminating some of that supply. 126 to 137, and actually Skarlet is behind here in the supply overall, but defending quite well. That 3rd base is now finally up, but keep in mind it's 2 regulars, 3 now, as we've got a 4th and a 5th going up for Skarlet, but that gold still helping out considerably.
God. A mine hit does big damage to that mutaball. And the number of Marines and Marauders coming out is obscene. I mean, Bomber was down to almost no Marines a few seconds ago. Now he's up to 45. 3-3's underway. And it's going to be just like you talked about in the last game, Marcus. 3-3 Bio versus 2-2 Ling Muta. A just terrible situation to be in for the Zerg player. And Skarlet's got to be careful. She did do a nice job baiting a stim without really losing too much, but there's no counterattacks happening this game.
And this is just I mean, obviously this area is just, it's Bomber's playground here. He loves to come over here. There's not really anything that can be done other than maybe like a higher ground spore or something up there that might assist, but you know, it's still pretty nasty. We've got, there's some Banelings rolling in from the side. What do we?
At the third, the third.
Hello.
Skarlet,
Goodbye.
Exactly what she needs. The counterattack to decimate the economy of Bomber, who was up to 60, now at 42. Skarlet may have done it. Skarlet may have gotten herself the big lead, but it is far from over because 3-3 is still en route. Yeah. And unless Skarlet can annihilate this big pack of units right here, right now, I don't know what chance she'll stand. Oh no!
Oh, the burrow, and there's still several Banelings left over, but they managed to get out. That looked like it could have been terrible for Bomber. He did manage to save most of his Marines and sacrifice the Widow Mines as a result. But if a nice Baneling hits there, and keep in mind, there's no more Widow Mine defense, or at least there's much less than there was before.
Yeah.
Muta count has gone a little bit higher, but that 3-3 is moments away, and we still, I don't believe, have Hive.
I mean, no matter what question we ask about Skarlet and Bomber, the polls are split. These players incredibly evenly matched. Skarlet's running very low on Banelings. She's going to try to use this Mutalisk pack to pick off front lines of Marines. This is exactly what their series was like at the WCS Season 2 Finals. Intense, dramatic, tenuous battles with unclear winners. Bomber swarming forward, going to try to get pickoffs on the Banelings. A relatively good engagement for Bomber. Did manage to pick off a lot of those, with the Mutalisk coming forward, going to be able to get a nice free medevac pickoff. But look at the macro of Bomber, Marcus.
I mean, it's ridiculous. It looks like there's just another army that sort of rises from the ground, and it's just there all the time. And it's a testament to how awesome his macro is. There's another counterattack at the third. This time there's plenty more Widow Mines for defense here on Bomber's assault. And see Skarlet going in, but
Skarlet's carefully dancing around. Bomber does have the supply lead, has a tremendous army compared to Skarlet's. The Marine packs keep going back. Skarlet can't commit and lose all of her Banelings. Although the third is continuing to be under fire, Bomber's army remains incredibly strong. Banelings rolling in, brilliant connections, absolutely spectacular connections, but the Baneling count is low. It is at 0 right now, Marcus, and without Banelings, what can you do against this kind of aggression?
Oh, 3 did manage to come out, but it's just the Lings trickling in and a bunch of
Can Skarlet win with just Mutaling here? I don't think she can. She has to retreat at the last second, and with hardly any mutas left, 13. Oh, Bomber, is he going to be able to do it with just a few dozen Marines?
You know, you have to look at this, I think, and say the gold base is worth sacrificing. There's 2 other bases there. There's not really that many drones anyway. Really, the biggest loss there is going to be the gas.
Yes, definitely.
And, you know, so I think that that was smart to pull back. Maybe it could have happened a little bit sooner, but I don't think that it's necessarily over quite yet, as they're going to go up there, get rid of these drones, and this, that.
Skarlet's picking off the reinforcements. Bomber's worked himself into a corner, but there's still not that many Zerg units here. Here come the Banelings. Is this the moment where the remaining forces of Bombers disintegrates? Is this the moment where the Mutapack disintegrates? It's unclear. And Skarlet has barely broken through, but the supply count's still dead even.
Oh my
84
goodness.
to 67, and if you look at the army supply, 44 for Skarlet, 36 for Bomber. What a game 3.
The Marines continue to come out. I believe that we've got that third base back up for Bomber, despite being assaulted multiple times by Skarlet. And lost that gold base. Gold base had done some good mining there. There were a few drones lost up there. You can see 42 to 29, the SCV count dangerously low. And here comes another set of Lings. The reaction on Bomber to get rid, or to get out of those SCVs is absolutely amazing. And this is where it gets scary. The orbital floating over, saying it's my turn to mine gold. I'll tell you what, the gold base can buy you a lot of Marines.
I mean, it's basically erupting back to a 3-base economy all over again. I mean, Skarlet's got to be careful. Has to not walk into these Mutalisk sets, and we see 7 drones in production for Skarlet, who's going to be still not very high on the count. 53 drones to 28. I mean, this is the Zerg's worst nightmare. After you've worked so hard for so long to batter back the Terran, to keep him on 3 bases, and right when you think you've done it, lands at an easily defendable gold base. Yeah,
and that becomes really scary. And maybe that is the thought process of this map, is that I take that gold base when I know I can safely do it, and it's going to help me get a surefire victory. Muta's going in. They take a lot of damage right there. A couple do fall down. Now there's these untouched bases of Skarlet, but you know, there we finally got some drones on that one in the far southeast. I'm still a bit concerned. Are we still not at Hive?
No, in fact, there's not even been an infestation pit started. I mean, Skarlet is essentially banking on a superior economy right now, saying, all right, you got a gold base? That's fine. I got 5 bases, and I will try to starve you out there. Look out, Skarlet. Here she comes, storms into the gold. All that money is gonna go out the window. Bomber thought that this push was gonna be enough to distract the Zerg, and now he's walking right onto creep territory.
Yeah, he is, and he's realized that, hey, we've got some bases down here. They need to be taken care of. Some more Banelings are gonna morph in defensively. This is where I wish there was Burrow, and you have some defensive burrowed Banelings. Gonna go up anyway, and we'll see how this goes. There's a couple of Widow Mines there. Kill the packs.
Small sets of units being chipped away at. Is this the moment where Skarlet finally ceases the aggression, or where the expansion falls? And it looks like it will be the former. Skarlet repels the attack once again, but a huge pack of bio continues to swarm in. Trademark Bomber macro. How is this possible?
It's a great question. I wish I knew, but you know, there's just a few Banelings left. I think that Skarlet's got to go ahead and get out of this space. There's nothing that she can do to hold it. Now, will they know? Will Bomber know about this other base? Oh my gosh, it's going again.
It's double stimmed Marines with no medevacs. Skarlet tries to break through the front line, still incredibly close. 74 supply for Bomber with only 20 SCVs. But it's just Marines being produced right now. The medevac count is at 0. It's 43 Marines on the map, and that is it. Skarlet's one lone mining base and her natural are all that stands between her and no economy.
And 6 more mutas now, 4 more mutas coming out, so keeping that muta pack strong. Got some additional Banelings as well, and the creep spread has helped out significantly in trying to hold off some of this, but I'm worried about these impending as we do have 13 Marines all the time. I mean, an infestation pit to go up to high would be amazing for some infestors, but Skarlet's still holding on.
Skarlet's got to begin engaging with just Mutalisks, the worst nightmare scenario. We're seeing more and more Marines pop in. Drone's got to get pulled. It has to be the only desperation choice she has, but it might be the right one because Bomber is only building Marines. There's 30 Marines left on the map. That is it for Bomber. It's drones and mutas, 11 mutas, 10. Can Skarlet withstand, or has Bomber broken through?
I feel like that Mutapack's getting very, very thin, Sean, and more Marines coming out. 22 Marines on the field right now, only 22 SCVs, but that's enough to keep that Marine force coming. There's not even full gas being taken on this space over here. And, you know, Skarlet's holding on, but I feel like Bomber with these 10 Marines every single time, eventually he's going to be able to wear down those mutas.
I have no idea how to even analyze this, Marcus. The gold expansion still mining for Bomber. The third still mining for Bomber. The income's much in favor of Bomber in this circumstance, thanks to those mules, thanks to that gold. Skarlet needs Baneling hits and Baneling hits alone to get the edge in these fights.
But you got to look at that splitting coming out from Bomber. It's perfect in every situation. Another cleanup. But for every single Baneling that's taken, for every single muta that is killed, it becomes that much more difficult for Skarlet. Bomber's continuing to pump 13 Marines across the map pretty regularly, and Skarlet does not want to attack. More mutas coming out for this game.
I mean, it's pure control at this point in time, but Skarlet takes the initiative. Zergling counterattack at Bomber's third. Again, his economy is not in strong shape. And even with these Marines pulling back to defend, oh God, look at that gold for Bomber. He's actually going to be mined out very shortly. I mean, Skarlet just needs to hold a little bit longer if she wants to win. She's long-range mining. Zerglings are going to be the key to absorb those hits, and so the Mutalisks can deal the final damage. But no, Bomber is going to assault the third. What is Bomber's choice? Does he go for the gold? It's completely unclear.
I think Bomber has to go for this attack here on Skarlet. The mutas are way out of position right now. All that is there, well, is nothing. These Zerglings that are going to be trickling in. I know there's about 4 Banelings around here somewhere. There's one of them.
There they come.
And here come the rest.
And it's all up to these Banelings. Can they deal enough damage? 15 Mutalisks trying to clean it up. Skarlet needs this base, but Bomber target fires and he takes it down.
Oh, huge victory for Bomber, and that's going to make it so tough. Those bases that were in the southeast position earlier on that Bomber targeted and took out are no longer there for her to be able to use. And even though that gold base is nearly done, and that third has been under assault by Skarlet with all those great counterattacks, actually, where is Bomber mining from other than this gold right now?
It's essentially just the gold.
Just the gold.
And we're seeing Skarlet is just long-range mining. Going Baneling, Zergling, and just praying, essentially. At this point in time, Bomber's not even mining from that third. It's just the gold. Skarlet's going to try to take out this orbital command. It's going to be the right choice, but Bomber has a force with Medivacs heading over.
Oh yeah, and getting closer and closer. I did see a couple Lings and Banelings being morphed here. Going to go ahead and evacuate this base almost immediately. Could come in from the back. And actually, Bomber's ready for it. You can see that he decided against it. We're going on minute 32 of this game, and this is one of the craziest TVZs I think I've seen in quite a while.
It's been close to no base for everyone for a long time. And we're at 54 Marines for the Terran player, but this is a split army. Wherever Skarlet chooses to engage is going to be a good choice. There's the force moving forward with no Medivacs up at the third base. Banelings are going to be rolling in, and Bomber is way out of position. And the connections are going to be very good. Skarlet's going to clean up this base.
Wow, very impressive. Took out quite a few of those reinforcing Marines as well, and still producing Mutalisks at this point. Long distance mining, as you said, apparently there's still gas coming in. Sitting on about 140 right now. More SCVs going down. There are 5 SCVs. And of course, a lot of Mutalisks.
And there's only 2 Medivacs too, so I mean, the healing potential is quite low actually for Bomber. Bomber's been hitting stim pretty frequently at this point, and that's going to be hurting him very hard. Skarlet though, where are you going, Skarlet? Skarlet's going way out of position into the main base, trying to see if she can maybe pick off some aspect of production, some misrally, some small set of Marines coming out at the wrong spot at the wrong time.
I love this. I love this targeting the reactors. Like right now, that's actually really tough for Bomber to just get back, or he's at least got to wait for the rebuild of those reactors, of course.
Oh, be careful, Skarlet, be careful.
wanting to minimize, of course, the amount of Marines that could potentially be coming out, but oh, don't get yourself stuck in a bad place right there. There's a lot of air there to work with, but
47 Marines, the entire force for Bomber. 3 SCVs, and that is it. Skarlet continuing to try to just pick off small numbers, loses a Mutalisk.
And that's huge, actually. I mean, the Mutas can regen without the without any medevacs out on the field. I think did one actually get squeezed out here? That at least you got some healing potential. Technically, there's sort of an infinite healing potential. Yeah, the 2 medevacs out now, but this infinite healing potential with these units who have nothing like that. And Bomber is stimming. This is a really close game.
Marcus, Burrow is done. That means burrowed Banelings are going to be huge here. Skarlet losing control a little bit with the lift there. This could be it.
Bomber can't afford to scan, so this oh god, the burrowed Banelings are huge. They're just over to the right a little bit more. Bring them out. Bait him. He's trying to bait. Oh my god! Oh my god! A perfect detonation. What we all expect to see when that kind of thing happens. Chasing the medevacs back in. There's some Banelings here to reinforce as well, but that was
what a game! What a game! Has Skarlet done it? 30 Marines remain. It's a dead even fight. Skarlet's been on no bases. I don't believe it.
1 SCV remaining on the map somewhere. Somehow he stays alive. 30 Marines
the
total.
final push. The final push from Bomber begins, but guess what? The only orbital command is lifted. That is it. Skarlet needs to hold on for one final attack.
2 more Banelings coming in as well. We're going to get these drones cleared out by the Marines, and just like the most amazing Baneling hit could just be single-handedly it for the game.
The last
Another orbital going to go.
The last scan's down. There are no scans left. Skarlet is going to be on burrow and run. She has killed off the last orbital command. Skarlet refuses to engage without the Mutalisk. The Queen's taking damage. A Queen falls, but Skarlet on the regroup is...
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Oh my god! The crowd on their feet! Skarlet, the most incredible game I have seen in DVT! Acer Skarlet qualifies for the playoff matches. The crowd has lost their mind.
I think I've lost my mind. That was, you know what? We didn't even see the Banelings get burrowed as she was running away, Sean. That was remarkable. It's freaking brilliant. Skarlet is the winner and will advance on with Parting for Group A.
The 2 players, Parting and Skarlet, unlikely candidates. The 2 players from StarTale have fallen in the most intense, nail-biting, back and forth, low econ ZVT, pure decision-making versus pure macro. A Zerg on no bases versus a Terran mining from a gold, and Skarlet found the answer.
That was... I don't have anything else to say. We've got some... I'm just going to sit here and... be in awe a little bit. We have analysts over at the desk to talk about how amazing this was. I want to hear your guys' oh my gods. Guys, take it away. Or not. Maybe they're not ready.
Supposed to say.
That was just absolutely insane. Absolutely insane.
I don't know if I've ever seen a more exciting conclusion on that kind of a scale to a StarCraft game. That was unbelievable. Excellent. We were talking about this through Game 1 and through Game 2. We said Skarlet never gets burrow, and in these low economic games, burrow is so key, and she's never got it, never got it. And then when her last hatchery died and she had no more mining bases, she's like, yeah, I'll take burrow.
It's about time.
I've got enough for burrow and 4 Banelings. Yep. Let's see what I can do with it.
Wow. that was just fantastic.
One of the most unbelievable games I've ever seen. One of the most fantastic wins I've ever seen. I don't think there's anything we can say to do it justice. I kind of just want to throw it over to Stu.
I think we got to take one more look at those burrow Banelings.
Can we show it again?
I think we just show that you did a burrow Banelings.
Moment?
Yes. I think a couple of those burrow Banelings.
All right, we're gonna get the winning moment with the final detonation. Here it is, guys. The first one. That was the moment that turned it all around, and then there was one final incredible detonation that ended the series. Scarlet takes it 2-1 in just phenomenal fashion.
If for some reason you tuned in late, you gotta watch that game.
Watch it again. If
watch it again.
If you watched it already.
Yeah, watch it again. Here it is. Here's the final, right? She's luring him down the ramp. One queen goes down. The second queen's taking danger. But there they are. Wow. That's how to win in style, man.
There's nothing else to say except to hear from Scarlet, our winner.